Hey Shane,
Hey man, how are you?
good. You can hear me okay?
Yeah. You sound
Sweet.
do I sound okay?
You sound a lot better than me.
Well,
My
yeah, I can try to make it sound better if it's
no,
not
no,
not too
my
standard.
my mic shit the bed about 2 minutes ago, so I'm using the onboard one on the camera.
Oh, it doesn't sound too bad actually. Not
Okay,
not too bad at
winning. All
all.
right.
Yeah.
So you're coming back. You've
We're
got a
coming
pretty
back.
you got a pretty fierce fan base for Australia. So what are you looking forward to
Yeah.
next?
Yeah, well, we don't get to come to Australia every day. It's always special when we do come. It's a country that embraced us early, you know. Um we came for the first time in '05, so it's like it's our 25th anniversary of being a band, our 20th anniversary of coming to your great country. And yeah, I don't know, man. Ever since that first time, we just felt so welcomed and
Yep,
people just so excited for our band. And I think that we've just kind of tried to give that vibe and that energy and that love right back.
yep.
And over the years, we've developed just a really great relationship, with the fans of our band in your country. So, yeah, I think we're trying to pull out all the stops once again. It's a little harder to do in Australia with the we don't have buses and like trucking is an issue and
Yep.
everything's so far away from each other. We're flying between the shows and stuff, so it's a little trickier. But we are trying to really make this the best tour we've ever done, and definitely the best tour we've ever done in Australia. So it's yeah, I think it's kind of a must see if you're a fan of our band.
Yeah. And let's touch on that for a minute because, whenever a band announces a tour, no matter what, there's always the why aren't you playing here? Why aren't you playing there?
Yeah.
Just the pure logistics. So let's just use Sydney and Brisbane. So I'm in Brisbane. So between Sydney and Brisbane is 1,000 kilometers. How many gigs could you play in the States in that sort of area?
I mean, if you're talking about like the East Coast of the United States, like 25.
Yeah. And you'd have a
You
bus for
know?
that. So, you're not
Yeah.
really pushing
Yeah,
out
exactly.
hotels and things like that. You've got your rolling house.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that's the thing. And even, we're a Canadian band. And Canada has a similar problem to Australia. Not quite as bad, but
Yeah,
it's similar, when you start to go across the country, there's very few major cities and they're very,
yeah,
very far apart. So yeah, so we understand that. And I think we've done a pretty good job of playing, most of the major cities in Australia and then adding on a couple extra ones.
yeah,
This time is the first time we haven't done Perth.
yep.
I think there was one other tour we did in 20 years where we didn't go to Perth, and oh, they're letting us hear about that over in
Yeah.
Western Australia. They're letting us have it, and unfortunately, it didn't work out logistically with this tour and making it work, and that is a shame. But we've heard it. We've heard you loud and clear, and we're hopefully going to be able to come back on the next one. And for our fans in Western Australia.
So if you had to single out any moments out of the last 20 years that you've been touring here, is there a fun memory that you'd like to share?
Oh, wow. I think one time Blunt Magazine gave us a bunch of money to gamble at the casino, and then wrote an article about it. That was cool. That's never
Yep.
happened before. Yeah, here's they gave us all like 200 or 300 bucks, and we're like, yeah, just go gamble it. We're like, okay, this is weird. So that comes to mind right away. I think those years that we did the Soundwave Festival,
Yep.
that was a pretty special thing.
Yeah.
That I know a lot of bands didn't end up getting paid, and it was like a whole wild thing. But at the time, we all really enjoyed it, and that was like to have
Yep.
like you're on a plane like a Virgin or Qantas flight, and like the whole plane is like all
Yeah.
people like bands on the tour, and just the community of it was really special, and that was one I'll never forget. But really every time, just there's something in the air, man. When we get there, it just feels good to be there, and people are really really welcoming, and yeah, we just have a fucking blast every time.
Do you remember what the last Soundwave you did was?
We did, I think it was 2011 we did.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while. Damn, it's
Yeah.
been a really long time. But yeah, I don't know how many more they did after that. Maybe only one.
2015 was the last one because I was hoping that
2015. Oh,
I
it did
was
go that
I
long.
was hoping you're on 2015 because when you're like you said, you are literally on a plane with it's just commandeered by the entire touring party.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
really. And hotels too. Yeah, but what part of what happened, and now it's more fresh in my mind as I'm remembering it a little more clearly, is, I remember we started coming to Australia in 2005,
yep,
and we were coming like maybe not every year, but like, as much as we could, like probably every like, 18 months or so. And we did Soundwave in '09, and then we're like, great, well, let's come back.
yeah,
And then Soundwave's like, oh, well, we don't really want you to do like your own tour. And we're like, okay. And then we came back 2 years later and we hadn't been in 2 years. And it's like, well, we don't really just want to play like a 35-minute set every 2 years for the foreseeable future to
mm,
our Australian fan base. Like we want to come back. We want to do like our show. We want to play our new songs. We want to play our old songs. We want to do like this tour we're doing this time. We want to be able to do that. And then that I think that's kind of was part of why we didn't do Soundwave afterwards, is
yeah,
just because we didn't want to just come back every 2 years and do a 30-minute set. And you're seeing that starting to happen over here. I live in Las Vegas, and we have when we were young, incredible festival. But now, as a resident here, you're seeing a lot of bands are playing when we were young. Then that's all they're playing for like 2 years in Las Vegas, and they're not coming back. So it kind of dominates the market for the scene a little bit,
hmm,
which is it's a good thing and a bad thing, at the same time. Sure.
yeah. Look, I had a quick little deep dive on your Insta. Hungry Jacks, huh? What's
100 Jacks.
Hungry Jacks burgers?
Hungry Jacks, yes. Hungry Jacks.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
you've toured the States. Hungry
Yeah.
Jacks versus Burger King. Where does it sit?
I mean, I think it's the same fucking thing, isn't it? I mean, I gotta say, like I don't eat meat,
Hmm.
um, but they do have the Impossible Whoppers in the U.S. Do they have them at Hungry Jack's now?
I think they might be called that. Yeah.
Because damn, those are pretty special. Um, so I don't know. I might give it to Burger King on this one, but I'll tell you, man, I've had some really good early morning, because we always fly in Australia, so you're always getting up
Yep.
super fucking early. So I've eaten a lot of Hungry Jack's breakfast, and it hits the spot, no doubt.
Awesome. Now you've got some new music coming out really soon. Um, is the
Yeah.
is the plan to sort of drop a song or two in the set?
Yeah, we've been doing a couple songs from the new record, but this tour, it's really a focus on our entire 25-year career.
Yep.
And we've been playing at least one song from every single record, and kind of doing it, not to rip off Taylor Swift or anything, but really focusing on the different eras of the band. And
Yep.
and we've been kind of, I've been saying, taking people in a motherfucking emo time machine, back to the beginning, and then through the years, of fans growing with us, and being along on our journey and being a part of it. And that's kind of what we've wanted to do for this tour. Um,
Yep.
we all have plenty of time to play new songs, and we feel really strongly about all of our new music, and it's so excited for September 12th when the next record, Pink Moon, drops. And that's all we're focusing on right now, really, is creatively, is all this new material. But at the same time, I think, you know, we should allow ourselves that what's the word? Opportunity, I guess, to celebrate what we've done. And that's really what we're doing, like we've had a couple records go gold. Uh, you know, um, Discovering the Waterfront album and Smile in Your Sleep have gone gold, which it's like huge milestones for us. And those are things we want to continue to do is celebrate that. And we realize that like, you know, a lot of people have helped us on the journey here. And, I think playing a fair amount of old stuff is something that I think people want to hear.
Yep.
But of course, yeah, we'll throw in a couple new ones as well.
Cool. Now, Silverstein as a band, you've always sort of remained relevant even with the shifts in the scene. What do you attribute that sort of staying power to?
It's a good question. I think, first and foremost, I think before I'm a singer, frontman, guitar player, or whatever, I think that what I'm most proud of is my songwriting. And um, once Paul Mark joined the band, and me and him are both in the band, I think we're both really great songwriters. I think that that's just continued to level up what we can do with our songs because the trends will come and go, whether they are the stylistical trends, production trends, what people are doing to their songs, how instrumentation and what
Yeah.
people do. But at the core, a great song is a great song, regardless of the trends, regardless of that. And I think that we've been really conscious to really just focus on that. If you strip it down to chords and melody and lyrics, what do you got? And is that good enough? Or are you just kind of like using a trend or using a trick or using a sound to kind of like make your song great? I think that that doesn't stand the test of time. But a great song, a great melody, lyrics, that really does. And I think that that's what we've always focused on. And in turn, we haven't really chased the trends, Like there was a couple years there where like bands in our scene were like doing like dubstep breakdowns and shit, and it was like that was really fucking weird,
Yeah.
And but at the time it was cool at the time, I guess, and but it was like I kind of saw through that a little bit. So, I think we've just obviously we've evolved and we've thrown a lot of our punk rock rule book out the window, and we've really allowed ourselves the freedom to experiment,
Yep.
but never ever at the cost of songwriting. And I think that that's just been such an important part of our ideology, I guess, as a band.
Cool. Now you mentioned that you're doing this like an eras kind of base tour. Has there ever been any tense moments with setlist selection? Like, or you?
Oh yeah, it's always a tense. It's impossible to
Yeah.
write a set list and have not only the band and the fans, not everybody happy, but like even within the band
Yeah.
or within the fan base, like you're never going to please everybody.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a really good job though over the years of switching it up
Yep.
and bringing things back, taking things out. Oh, we've played this song for a while. Let's like maybe chill, let it chill for a couple tours. And but we'll bring it back eventually, and just so that to keep the fans, guessing a little bit, but also like not just all curveballs. Like, you don't want it all just everything coming out of left field where it's like, what the this is like we don't want it to be weird,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
also don't want it to be predictable. So there's a fine line between that, and you wouldn't believe, the amount of time we spend talking about it and figuring it out and what songs, how are the transitions going to be, how's it all going to work, it used to be me like 45 minutes before the set writing the whatever we were going to play on a fucking paper plate, and that was the set list.
Yeah.
Every day would be different. Now we've got so many damn songs and we're bringing so much production that we have to figure that out in advance, and we have to really curate the set list um, to make it the best experience possible for everybody. It just wouldn't work if I was like throwing darts at
Yep.
at a piece of a map kind of thing with the set list and
Yep.
figuring it out last minute. So it is a challenge, dude. And yeah, it's never, it's not going to get easier too as we have more and more songs.
Well, that's a good idea for you. You should write the set list on some paper plates and have them at merch.
Yeah, we've done we've just printed them and signed them. We've done that before, but yeah, man, we did do a voting thing for this tour where we had people we told everybody we're like we're gonna play at least one song from every record, and we want you to vote on what song that should be. So we
Yep.
allowed everybody to vote on for one song per album, and we played it. So, and there's a couple surprises like for Arrivals and Departures, the song My Disaster one, which I was like quite surprised about. Just a few songs here and there that were like, oh, okay, and that was cool to put that in, but we did try to be a little democratic with that process.
Cool. For you, when you're on the road, you know, fans probably don't realize, especially when you're doing the Australian stuff, which is flying, 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 it's taxing. It might only be a
Yeah,
1 hour
yeah.
flight, but it crushes. What are your go-tos that you really need to keep sane on the road?
Well, yeah, and Australia is a really really funny one because you land and you're just so fucked up. Like you don't even know which way is up.
Yep.
And it doesn't, I'm sure as Australians that have traveled, there and back to wherever they've gone, overseas, they know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's like you're never quite 100% there mentally or physically
Yep.
when you're in Australia. Like the second we leave, I'm like, okay, I've adjusted now. But yeah, it's tough, and I think in some ways it almost makes the early mornings and the flying like sort of oddly easier because like it's
Yep.
like I don't even know what time it is. Is 6 a.m. early? I don't know what time is it at home. Like I guess it's like just the middle of the afternoon, so it's fine. I guess
Yeah.
it's a really, really weird thing. But yeah, man, I think, one thing that's just great about Australia is like you guys have like sneaky good food, which is like weird because like you don't really have anything that's like your own.
No.
Like I can't think of like an Australian dish, right? Like other than like Vegemite or something, right? But like you guys have just taken everyone's food and like kind of just made it awesome, and you
Yep.
kind of can't go wrong. So, yeah, it's that's really nice. We always have like great meals. Your beer is getting quite a lot better too these days. But yeah, there's just always things to do, like the weather's always pretty good there. We're coming at like, I mean, maybe not the best time of year for weather, but hey, it'll be a nice change for me.
Oh yeah.
Um, going from like over 40 degrees to like, probably like 15 maybe.
Yep.
But maybe lower. I don't know. It depends where we are, but yeah, I don't know. It's just everything is good about it. There's always things to do. People are excited and yeah, even your freaking airport lounges are pretty nice. So, there's lots to like. And
Now,
we always stay in good hotels. They put us in these like apartment style hotels that are kind of nice. Like it's not just like a American style hotel room that's like fucking small and like you're there by yourself and all you have is like a TV and shitty bathroom. It's like, oh, we actually have like an apartment. We can stay. We have a living room. We can hang out. It feels a little bit more like your home.
yeah, that's good. Now, other side of the coin, you are also a podcast host.
Yeah.
Um, what's the one question that you have asked that you've never been asked?
Oh, that's man. I don't know. Wow. That I have asked
Yeah,
that but no one has asked me.
you've gone, I've never been asked that, so I'm going to ask that to somebody else.
Hmm. I don't know if I have an answer for that. But I will say this. I think I've interviewed a lot of people, and I think the one question that is always important to ask if you got a little bit of time, like we only have 20 minutes or whatever, so you're probably not going to get into it with me. But when I do long form, right? So when
Yep.
I'm talking to somebody for like 45 minutes, I always think that it is so interesting to ask people about their childhood, where they came from, how they discovered music. Did they have siblings, parents, cousins? What was the first record they bought? What was the first band shirt they bought?
Yep.
what were they like in school? I think that that is and what made them who they are today. I think that is so compelling, and it's almost always interesting. Like even people that could have the most, normal, boring, if you will, childhood, it still is interesting,
Yeah,
uh, and compelling. And I think that like if you're trying as an interviewer, if you're trying to like, have a story and have something interesting here and have something that's going to resonate with the person who is consuming your content, that is a great way to like get them to understand who this person is and why they make the music they make.
yeah.
Or sometimes it doesn't even make sense why they make the music they make, but it's still a great thing to ask, and I don't get asked it that much, and I love talking about it. I love talking about like my school days and my family and my parents and like no one ever asked me. Here's maybe no one ever asked me about my first band. Nobody ever asked me about
Right.
that. So so there are, I think that is a great thing to ask as an interviewer. And most people I find do like to talk about it.
Yep.
It's personal and I think it's interesting and everybody has their own story.
Well,
Sorry.
we'll say that for a part two, but I will ask what your first
Yeah,
band shirt
absolutely.
was.
Sure.
Yeah. What was your first band shirt though?
You know what? My first band shirt I stole from my older sister.
Nice.
And she I kind of stole it from her closet and then she was kind of cool with me wearing it because it didn't like fit her or something. And it was a Nine Inch Nails Pretty Hate Machine shirt. And I was in the fourth grade, and this was like early. This is like before Broken even came out. So this was like
Wow.
I was wearing this around school, and people were like, "Nine Inch Nails," like no one knew what this was, and I was very ahead of the game with that band because I have loved Nine Inch Nails since like literally they were on their first album, and I was like 10.
Well, I'm dating myself. Mine was Kiss.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
great.
Wait,
That's
wait.
great. Do you still have it? It's probably worth some money.
Um, I wish I did. I did have it. I had a bunch of merch that actually was relieved of my possession. Um,
Yeah.
so I did have an original 1980 Kiss tour shirt.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Yeah, this
Yeah,
wasn't a tour shirt, but yeah, it was Pretty Hate Machine Nine Inch Nails.
wicked. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, any final messages for your friends before you head this way?
No, I mean, get tickets, please. It's selling fast. I know Melbourne is like really close to selling out, of course. But yeah, come hang out. It's going to be the best Silverstein show you've seen, and we're bringing out our friends and real friends, who are a great band, great live band too. Man, they're the singer they have now. I don't know if they've been to Australia with him. He's been in the band for probably like 5 years now, maybe longer. But man, he
Yep.
is so good live, and they are awesome. So. Yeah, it's not to be missed. Get your tickets and yeah, and check out Pink Moon too. September.
Awesome, Shane. We look forward to seeing you all down here soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks so
Yeah.
much.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, bye now.